4 years, I thought losing weight was truly all about just finding the right diet for you. I thought if I could just find the right plan, have the right workouts, and just figure out the structure piece, that it will all just click. But honestly, y'all, the real reason that I kept losing the same weight over and over again, the same 10 to 15 pounds, it honestly had nothing really to do with food. The truth is, I just hadn't changed my identity yet. How I thought about myself, how I talked to myself, how I showed up in the world. And once that changed, the weight loss journey just started to make a lot more sense to me. I had to become the person who truly lived out the habits of the girl who was trying to create a life that she actually loved. So looking back now, after I lost the 70 pounds, even though it took me way longer than it should have, and what I now call this phase and this mindset shift that you have to make is stepping into your lucky girl identity. When it comes to a successful weight loss journey, it can be very lonely. I feel like a lot of times we look to people to be our accountability partners, but in reality, a lot of people are actually stuck in that same weight loss cycle to where they gain and lose the same, 10 to 15 pounds. And in order for you to truly lock in, you have to realize that there is an identity shift that you must make. If you're watching this video, more than likely you are looking to uncover what kind of identity shifts that you need to make in order for you to finally be successful in your weight loss journey. And in order for you to actually create a new identity, you got to be real with yourself and figure out what the heck is the problem? What do I need to change? What stuff needs to be gutted? More than likely, everybody is on some sort of like crazy loop or crazy cycle. Let me explain. You start a diet, you get motivated for a few weeks, you see, a little results here and there, clothes fitting better, and then all of a sudden you get comfortable or you get burnt out and it's just like, oh, I don't feel like going to the gym today. Oh, I can have a cheat day. And it's like, that is how that loop starts over again. You get stuck in your comfort zone and you can't figure out what is the trigger, what is the behavior that gets you stuck in that cycle instead of just getting back to your regular scheduled program. And the thing is, it's not that you don't know how to eat right. It's not that you don't know how to exercise. The real issue is something much deeper. Internally, you see yourself as someone who still struggles with consistency. And if that's what you believe about yourself, best believe that's what you're going to manifest about yourself. And the identity that you're currently holding on to is always going to win. So now that I just told you what the internal issue is, this is the part that I honestly had to get really honest with myself about. So now that we know that the internal issue is the fact that you don't see yourself as a person who can be consistent, for a long time, my identity sounded like, oh, I'm gonna start that diet on Monday. Oh, cheat day. Oh, we can just go work this off in the gym. We can just do 2-a-days and we'll knock out all of the bad things that we did over the weekend. I had this demeanor of I was super disciplined when I was motivated. But truly deep down inside of me, I still struggled internally with the thought that I was a person who struggled with food. Because of that, I was constantly trying to force habits that didn't truly match who I believed that I was. At some point, I realized something very important. The goal wasn't just to lose weight. The goal was to become the person who had habits that just actually kept the weight off. And once I started to think about it that way, honestly, y'all, everything started to shift from there. I started asking myself different questions. What would the healthy version of me do in this situation? What does the future version of me look like? How does she dress? What does she eat? What does her routine look like? Get really granular with the details. What would the luckiest version of myself, what would her day look like? What would her habits look like? What would her gym split look like? What would her refrigerator look like? You got to get deep down and granular so you can start to visualize those things. And once you begin to think of your life from the future version of yourself, it helps you identify and visualize yourself as that person, because I truly believe in order for you to achieve and believe something, sometimes you need to see it. But if it has not happened yet, how can you see it? But if you start to really think about what the future version of yourself, what you want her to look like, you can begin to meditate on those feelings. You can begin to even just look for inspiration. You can watch people who look similar to you. And once you start to think of the identity and actions that you need to take from the future version of yourself in any aspect of life, I think it is the most smartest thing that you can possibly do, because something that I don't think you guys realize is that we are in the now. Everything that you have done in the past has gotten you to the point of where you are now. Everything you did last summer, last week, last month, all of those micro decisions that you have made have led you to this exact space that you are at. So it's nothing that we can do today simply that is going to change or move the scale or move the identity and make any major strides. But visualizing the person that you want to become and really identifying how they look, what they wear, what does their refrigerator look like, how do they shop? If you start to really visualize that and start to pick up small micro habits that you can incorporate in your daily, it's going to find you. The vibration is going to find you. That future version of yourself is going to become a lot closer to you if you start to make decisions today that impact that future version of yourself. Because if you keep doing everything that you've been doing, you're just going to stay in the same spot, or you're going to stay losing the same 10 to 15 pounds. And just to give a quick example, I was a person who really struggled with food. So something that I would punish myself with working out 2 hours. I had to see 1,000 calories on my Apple Watch. So that is something that I had to truly learn to build safety around. So instead of feeling like I'm obligated to work out, I just came from a place to where I need to move my body. And I honestly don't work out the same way that I used to. Literally, I'm a 10K steps kind of girly. This morning, I walked around my neighborhood. It's getting warmer here in Texas. And it is truly all about just moving your body. And even dealing with that, healing the relationship with food, I had to change the way that I thought about food. Food is fuel and not necessarily a good thing, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Sure, things taste good, and sure, things taste bad, but it isn't truly bad. It is just fuel, and you can pick what grade of fuel you want to put in your body. If you want to put top-notch, premium, organic fuel in your body, or you want to put processed junk, sugars, oils, chemicals in your body. It's really up to you. And that sounds like a small shift, but the more you do it, the more you question yourself before you make the same kind of decisions that you've been doing, it will help you become more comfortable. It'll help you build that muscle to know, oh, we do 10K steps every day. We drink a gallon of water. It's not something that you put off because it becomes a part of your identity. If you introduce it slowly, I'm afraid that a lot of times as people, we get extra motivated and we want to go extra hard. And a lot of times that leads to burnout. But if you do these small micro habits, it can truly shift your identity. I know we talked a lot about like the woo-woo side, visualizing, and then just trying to get in the vibration and setting yourself up for success. But I do want to give you guys a few practical tips that you can take from this video so you can get started today. First thing that I want you to do is stop talking bad about yourself. I've been a girl who used to talk bad about herself her whole life. I used to be like, I hate my body. I don't like how I look. Like, I'll never lose the weight. I don't have any control around food. I just work out so much and the scale is not moving. I had to stop telling myself that story and start talking to myself. I actually believed in myself. And even if I didn't 100% believe, I mean, the Bible says you truly just need the faith of a mustard seed, and we can apply that to everything in life. If you just have an ounce of belief, it will happen. Just sit back and evaluate the things that you say. Learn to catch it immediately and correct yourself. Something that I used to do in the beginning, and I think I talked about this in a video prior, but I used to say, hey, don't talk to my friend like that. Even when you think about, you hear your friends, they may be talking bad about themselves. You'd be like, don't talk about yourself like that. You work too hard. Like, be protective of yourself like you would your best friend, like you would your mother, like you would your father, would your family. Protect your energy from yourself too. So instead of saying, I'm just bad with food, I can't get it right, instead you say, I am in the process of learning to take care of my body. Something that I used to swear by is I am falling in love with taking care of myself. And honestly, that shift alone, just how you talk to yourself, changes the way that you will approach your choices. The next thing that I want you guys to do is create some non-negotiables for yourself. I know we love to talk about a thing called the boundary, but but baby, you need boundaries with yourself. And they don't have to look extreme. Like I said, I think when it comes to a weight loss journey, it is best to start small and build up those micro habits so it just becomes easily and effortlessly part of your life. Some examples would be daily movement goals, 10K steps, drinking your water. The way that I approach meals these days, especially dinner, because the other two meals can be a hit or miss just depending on if I'm in the office or on the go. But like some ways that I approach dinner and a lunch is, think about it, I need a protein, a veggie, and a carb. Like, get extremely granular and non-negotiable habits for yourself. And I don't want you guys to become like super obsessive with it, but make it fun and easy to incorporate into your life. So think about it. You're going to dedicate your evenings to your wind down process, to taking care of yourself, turn the blue light on your phone off, have a wind down routine. That is something that has helped me really regulate my nervous system. And what you may not realize is when it comes to trying to lose weight, if your nervous system is dysregulated, your body may sometimes just hold on to weight just as out of a cortisol response. Like, you're just so stressed. So sometimes we have to just evaluate every aspect of our life, not just like the movement, not just the food, but what are the stressors going on and how can you learn to combat that? The last thing that I think was most helpful for me was I learned how to design my environment for my success. You truly have to have an environment that supports the life that you're trying to build, because if you constantly surround yourself with the same old, you're going to stay in the same old place. Let's be real. Some things that helped me kind of just design my environment, specifically here in this new house. This is a new thing that I did. I created a workout room for myself. I have a treadmill, I have weights, I have mirrors, I have lights. I put a TV up. I really made it extra vibey and extra cozy to where I can just go move my body on days I don't feel like going to the gym. Another thing that I did in the beginning that I think is very important is, I said I had a problem where I felt like I wasn't in control around food, and I used to say that to myself. So instead of continuing to say the same story about myself over and over again, I took control of the environment. I bought prepackaged snacks. I bought prepackaged fruit to just make my life easier. I didn't bring junk food into my house, and we don't call it junk food here on this channel. We call it fun food, but I just had to put a disclaimer out there. There is a time and a space for everything. And if you feel like you don't have control, don't have it in your house, because you are setting yourself up for the future version of yourself. So what does the future most healthiest, most luckiest, most skinniest, most prettiest, what do they have in their house? What foods, what skincare? You truly have to embody that identity. And it may feel fake and false in the beginning, but I promise you, the more and more you do it, it's like you biohack your mind and you will start to see the results, like, not kidding with you. I just think designing your environment to set you up for success really removes the friction and the decision fatigue. Something that I just mentioned is I would buy prepackaged snacks or prepackaged fruits. We used to live by a Whole Foods. I would just go buy a juice. I would buy the stuff already cut up, and I know it costs more, but there is a lot more decision fatigue that comes with, oh, you go to the grocery store and you buy all of this healthy stuff, but you still have to rinse it, cut it, and meal prep. And you have to make this process so simple that it's like an open book test. Like, you have to set yourself up for the ultimate success. I know this is more of a weight loss related video, but this goes far beyond weight loss. I have truly created a life that I love. Like, if you guys knew me a few years ago, you probably wouldn't even recognize me. Like, I look different, I talk different, I act different. And that was truly all about designing a new environment. Even just moving to Texas completely changed the trajectory of my life. It's so different. I want you guys to adopt this lucky girl philosophy. And you have to think of yourself as the most luckiest person in the world, and everything that you want truly comes to you. And I promise you it will. So this is something that I talk about a lot now. Motivation, she's so moody, she's so fickle, she comes and goes as she pleases. I want you guys to realize the life that you truly want does not come from motivation. It actually comes from identity. It comes from deciding on who you are becoming. And then truly just learning to align your daily habits with that version of yourself. And that's really what creating a life you love actually looks like. I promise you guys, I have been saying on my channel, I'm all about creating a life you love since I started my YouTube channel with a very delusional dream. Not touching any money, unemployed, and like now to see how my life has completely changed. Lost 70 pounds. I have a beautiful home, moved to Dallas, married, have amazing income from my job, starting to really get on the content creator train and making money from that as well. So I have witnessed myself truly create a life that I love, and it's come from these micro decisions that I have been making over the past few years. Now, I'm not going to say that it was a set moment in time to where I'm like, all right, this is the identity I'm becoming. I would say more on the beginning end, but I can vividly remember on a YouTube video where I was talking about falling in love with taking care of myself.
You cannot sit in a mistake too long, because you're going to sit in that mistake a long ass time and you're going to look up and everybody else has gotten things done and you still sitting at the same spot. Like, that's not what you want. It's not a good feeling.
I truly believe that's when everything changed. The weight started to fall off. My YouTube started to grow. And I think I actually started to believe what I was saying to myself. And I think naturally the vibration of everything that I want and desire just started to come to me. And I feel like we get in these moments, in these ruts to where you feel like life is just lifing and life doesn't look beautiful, or it's not looking like the person you're trying to become. But I truly feel like God always reminds me. He always sends gentle reminders, gentle nudges. I got you. If money's funny, I get random deposits. If something's going crazy at work, I get encouraging notes from coworkers. He always gently reminds me. If I'm feeling funny about my content, I get comments from people saying how much I inspired them or how I changed their life, like my little old video. So it is important that you just begin to make the small changes today, because you're going to lose this weight. You're going to go after every single thing that you want. You're going to become the woman of your dreams, truly. I do want to mention, in my last video, I said I had some ChatGPT prompts that can help you deep dive into this identity piece, help you pull out things that you need to like get rid of, and how to actually train your mind for success to become the best version of yourself. I have that available for you guys for free. I will link that down below in the description so you guys can start to really do that inner work that needs to be done, that so you can actually clear out the mental blockages that are stopping you from becoming everything that you truly want. If you guys enjoy conversations like these around identity, discipline, motivation, and truly creating a life you love, I recently started writing a little bit more about this, because sometimes, videos can kind of go off into tangents, but sometimes I really want to get granular in my writing. So I started a Substack called The Lucky Girl Letters, and it's just letters and reflections about changing your identity and truly creating a life you love. So if you guys are interested in joining the Lucky Girl Club, I will link that down below for you guys. And I will be checking in weekly with a newsletter for you guys, because I don't know, I just feel like with so much chaos going on in the world, it just feels so much better to focus on yourself and what you can build in this time. They say a lot of millionaires are born in these times of war and recessions and stuff like that. Take this time to do whatever work you need to do on yourself and build whatever you can during this time. I know that people may scare you and say like the world is ending, and if it ends, let it end with you actually working on things that you want to do truly. But at the same time, I think it is time that we really learn to see what's going on in the world, but really learn to put that energy into ourselves, because if we scroll social media all day, like if you see nothing but negativity, how is that going to affect the person that you are? And at the end of the day, this is your life. This is your story. This is your movie. All of this other stuff is just extras. So I want you guys to truly create a life you love and join the Lucky Girl Club. I will link that below for you guys. Anywho, at this point I'm rambling, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.